Hello everyone, how are you all? I hope that you are doing great. I hope that you are having an amazing life. Here it is a night time, and that is why my voice I have to keep a little bit low. And so let's see how that works. Today I'm going to review a novel called as Beartown, and it is written by a author Fredrik Backman. He is a very amazing author, and I have so far read total 3 books written by him. I think the first book written by him that I read was Anxious People, and after that I read a book called A Man Called O, and the third book that I read after that, which is Beartown, and this is an amazing story once again. So, as always, if you have heard my last 2 book reviews, my reviews are not really reviews because I don't talk much about the plot lines. Instead, what I do is that when I had read the book, I had written down my favorite lines, and I just like to discuss upon those favorite lines. So let's see how that goes. So I'm going to start with some of the very first few lines. It is when the book novel has started, just very first few lines. The town wakes early, like it does every day. Small towns need a head start if they are going to have any chance in the world. So these few lines really such a good opening lines, I believe, because it starts with how the story starts, and in a small town, it's really small towns, the town wakes really early. And why they wakes early, it is because they're a little bit behind the big towns, and because they are behind, they need a head start. So all of the people from small towns, they need that head start, and they take that effort. They are always taking that effort to have that head start, so that they can have some chance in a world. Such a beautiful opening line. Really, I really salute to the author. Then okay. Then there is one quote. I think I am not sure. Maybe it is from Bible because I have not written it down from where it is. It was there in this thing was there in a book, but it was mentioned from some another source. So if you are honest, people may deceive you. Be honest anyway. If you are kind, people may accuse you of selfishness. Be kind anyway. All the good you do today will be forgotten by others tomorrow. Do good anyway. What you create, others can destroy. Create anyway. Because in the end, it is between you and God. It was never between you and anyone else anyway. So, these lines, really good that they mention these lines because these lines have so much power. I do not have to talk much about it. If you hear those lines once again, you can feel the power of those lines. Then, okay. So in this book, actually, there is a this book is about the struggle of a small town in a very big world, and so if you read the plot on Google also, not plot, just opening statements, what the book is about, so you will understand if you really have to read the book or not. I'm going to go through all of the concepts that I loved from the book, and I'm not going to give away the whole plot to you, so it makes sense for you to read the book actually, and I do not want to spoil the book for you. So okay, so few more lines that I liked. The people who live here are tough. We have got the bear in us, but we have taken blow after blow for a long time now This town needs to win at something. We need to feel just once that we are best. I know it's a game, but that's not all it is, not always. So it also talks about the struggle of a survival of a small town in a very big world, how it will survive, and it has to survive to have existence. But there's also one powerful narrative between sports and survival of a town. So how it is picking up any sports, because in today's world sports is so much related with the survival of things. And sports, I think, from the book what I understand, it has so much power to influence the people in a way that it divides people in teams, team A and team B. So this division of people has always been a very obvious thing, but we in most of the times we don't like the division of people unless it is a war. But sports is one thing where the division is very clear and everyone knows that people are either for cheering for team A or cheering for team B, and ultimately we end up taking side in one way or another inside our mind at least. So it is whenever there is go sports, one thing that becomes obvious that people will take side. And okay, am I talking relevant to this lines or about the whole book? I'm a little bit getting confused myself, but this is the thing about this book, that people will ultimately end up taking sides in sports, and that is very obvious in sports. So yes, and even the players who team is very small, so if anyone has to take a team, it has to be a team A and team B players, but there are so many other people who are not involved much in the match, but they still end up taking side in sports, in terms of sports. So if my country is playing at something, maybe football or cricket, then I will end up taking mostly side of my people. So in that way how it goes. So team is very small who are actually playing it, but the people who are supporters or opposers, those are so big. Team is rarely 7-8 players of team, but the supporters and opposers are so big that makes this thing such intriguing. Means how that could be, like only players are like 7-8, but they have the power to divide into the groups of A and B. So what I would like about this is that we love winners, even though they are very, very rarely particularly likable people. They are almost always obsessive and selfish and inconsiderate. That doesn't matter, we forgive them. We like them when they are winning. So once again, very true line, and such a harsh truth, that we love winners, and it doesn't matter that if they are obsessive, selfish and inconsiderate, that doesn't matter as long as they are winning. So we often like the people who are the winners, so we end up taking their sides and making them gods who are the winners, and we really don't matter for most of the times to people like supporters. In case of sports, mostly, as long as someone makes 6 after 6 and after 6 for their own team, well, it doesn't matter how much moral or something they are in their personal life most of the times in very big sports. So we end up liking those who are winners or help winning us. Okay, then, but they knew that a team didn't mean anything if you couldn't depend on each other. That's both a big and a small thing, knowing that there are people who will never abandon you. So this is also one of the very good line, that uh, that that team didn't mean anything if you couldn't depend on each other. So if I'm in a team, doesn't necessarily mean a sports team, but in any team such as a business team or any team, corporate business, or any kind of team like organization. So it is very obvious that people in team are dependent upon each other, and uh, it is a very obvious thing. So okay, few more lines. So let me see how many total lines are there. So I will explain only few lines which I feel really intriguing, and it does not give the plot away. So yes, I got one more line. Religion is something between you and other people. It's full of interpretations and theories and opinions. But faith, that's just between you and God. So they have explained the difference between religion and faith. So what is religion is something between you and other people. So religion is a concept that people have invented, and that is in between that people of myself. If I follow one religion, it is between me and some people, because there have been some norms defined for a religion, how it should work, how it should work, etc. And what kind of things I need to show that I believe to be in that religion. But faith is in between me and God. That's just between you and God, faith. So it doesn't matter what other thinks about my faith. It is just ultimately I have to answer for my faith to God. Ultimately, that God is going to judge me. Well, the God doesn't mean only about the person or religious God. God generally means a power that is a very big power, like universe. It is a very big power. It is all encompassing, all etc. So all powerful, omnipotent. So yes, so it is between me and that power. So power or energy. So faith, that is the difference between religion and faith. That religion is between you and other people, but the faith doesn't depend upon theories or opinions. For faith, it doesn't matter. It is ultimately between we and that energy, the communication between us. Okay, so few more good lines. Let me see. Okay, and at the very top are the men that suits in this office, talking shamelessly about the players as if they are racehorses products. So it is just seen in any kind of sports that the organization of that sports means who organize the sports, that sports functions, different sports matches maybe. So at the organization of those sports are most of the time people who treats the teams as the products, and who race against with each other, and they just make money out of it. So their ultimate goal is to make people influenced and make people choose side in between team A and team B, and ultimately it doesn't matter for them much about the people most of the times, and ultimately they just treat the people as racehorses. So that's the parallel the author is trying to draw. Then okay, it's often said that human beings are pack animals, and that thought is so deeply embedded that hardly anyone is prepared to admit that many of us are actually really rubbish about being in groups. We can't cooperate, that we are selfish, or worst of all, that we are the sort of people others just don't like. And I have been in the corporate world for almost 2 years. I have been also a MBA student, and this line just really resonate with me, because I have seen most of the people's CV that it is written that they are team players. So, but if I come to know them personally, then they're actually selfish, and they are showing that they are kind of a team members, and they want a cooperation, and they can cooperate, etc. And they like being in group, and they can work really good in group. But yeah, actually they are just selfish, and we are just selfish, actually not they, we all, including me. And so sort of people that just others just don't like, and others will also try to show that they like us, but they actually don't like us. So it's just a thing that goes round and round in circle. So yeah, that's one fun thing. Then okay, this is a good line. Hate can be deeply stimulating emotion. The world becomes much easier to understand and much less terrifying if you divide everything and everyone into friend and enemies, we and they, good and evil. The easiest way to unite a group isn't through love, because love is hard. It makes demands. Hate is simple. Yeah, such a good line. Wow, I just want to read it again. Replay. Okay, I'm going to again repeat this line because it is so amazing. Hate can be a deeply stimulating emotion. The world becomes much easier to understand and much less terrifying if you divide everything and everyone into friends and enemies, we and they, good and evil. The easiest way to unite a group isn't through love, because love is hard. It makes demands. Hate is simple. I don't think I have to elaborate these lines, because they speak for itself. So if you again and again read it, and the more we speak of it, it becomes really easy to understand. So I'm not going to go into the explanation of those lines. Few more lines. So the first thing that happens in a conflict is that we choose a side, because that's easier than trying to hold two thoughts in head at the same time. The second thing that happens is that we seek out facts that confirm what we want to believe. Comforting facts, ones that permit life to go on as normal. The third is that we dehumanize our enemy. Aha! The earlier paragraph and this paragraph were together on one page only. So that is a complete one paragraph. And I think so far it is just mind blowing. I'm going to repeat this paragraph once again. So the first thing that happens in a conflict is that we choose a side, because that's easier than trying to hold two thoughts in heads at the same time. The second thing that happens is that we seek out facts that confirm what we want to believe. Comforting facts, ones that permit life to go on as normal. The third is that we dehumanize our enemy. Well, amazing. That is really, really amazing lines once again. So there is a lot of things going on in this book, such as it is a story of a boy, of few boys, few girls, friendship, and lot of things are there. Parenting, a struggle that goes inside a person to be in which team exactly, because they have so many responsibilities of this side also and that side also. So ultimately, to choose what, and if we are choosing both, then how to save both ultimately. Then it's a very amazing story, and it is one of the very good book, really nicely written books. So what I have written after I read this book: as always, language is captivating. The way he tells story is the way we are in the story. We can see the characters, places, we can feel it unfolding in front of our eyes. When I did see the place on Google, when I searched the really happening, that place where it happened, whole story on Google, I was thrilled. The landscape is insanely wild, fearsome. At such places, physical strength, stamina, agility has a natural advantage. And also at such places, community is important. Wherever it is really difficult to survive physically in that world, the community is a very important thing. And so even in today's time, where we live a completely different life in cities, where we can be alone and isolated at times very easily, and we will be fine, but where nature holds its power, I can imagine such stories can occur like the happened in book. It is also a story of friendships, it is a story of parenting, it is also shows how family has implicit bonds which comes out strong in times of a crisis. It has thrill, it has suspense, also it gives window in future. It has that simplicity and straightforwardness. Well, so this is all about this novel, and as always, my camera has stopped recording because it has a maximum recording time of, I believe, of 20 minutes. So well, that's a little sad, but still I hope that you enjoyed really listening to me. Maybe my camera gives me an alarm that okay, now you have to stop, now you have to stop, you have to speak only 20 minutes. That's really fun. So thank you so much everyone for listening to me and watching this video, and it means so much to me that you're enjoying this series. If you have any good recommendations, good book recommendations, then give it those to me in a comment section down below. Also, if you have to make any comment, any feedback, you're most welcome. Thank you so much everyone. Wish you good night, good day, wherever you are in the world. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Take care. See ya.